Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of the Cadre Concept. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Shane McGraw. Hello, Shane.
What's going on, my good friend?
Hey, my man. We're kind of behind the scenes today with our green screens. We're inviting people back behind the stage to the green room. We're gonna do this interview from the green room with our green screen.
You know, it's that's how raw it is around here, Chris.
You know what? I prefer to keep it real. I think it's important to keep it real. No pretense. So listen, we're talking today about winning your day by noon. I like this conversation. What does it mean, first of all, to you? What does win your day by noon?
Actually, this has become my life's work. You know, it's something I've been working on forever. There's not really any books you can read or any great leaders you can. I was just watching a video just last night at way late. That's probably why I'm a little off today. Couldn't get myself to go to sleep last night. Mark Wahlberg wakes up at 2:30 in the morning.
What? Wow.
To read, to pray, and to work out. And then he does a couple little things and he works out again later on that day. And he says, you know, everybody has their own best life and their own expectations of what their best life looks like. He's not asking you to copy his. He's just saying this is what works for him. But what I like about, you know, what he was leading with and kind of where I want to go with this today is it's not so much perfection. It's your best effort. Like, how do you really get the most out of your life? I think the world is filled with a lot of people that are serving time instead of investing time. I wonder what it looked like if you looked at your day and you said, how do I invest today? And so when I'm done with this day, I've left it all on the field. I've gave my best effort. And how do I get, you know, there's some blocks. I talk about the 7 F's a lot and we're going to keep talking about it. Yep. How do I get all 7 of those F's? How do I progress all of them, you know, to the best life ever, every day? Yep. So win the day by noon is how we're going to engineer the first half of the day.
What's the biggest obstacle to this? Because I think time blocking now has been a concept that's been around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I think people know they need better help with their time. But so we know it, but then we don't do much about it. What's the hurdle from where you sit that stops people from winning their day by noon?
Yeah, I think that's what our next podcast is going to be on, is the mindset, the heart behind the why. You know, why are you doing what you do? So I'll give a little teaser now. I think if you genuinely don't know what you want out of this life, and, you know, we were just talking about this beforehand, Chris, is, you know, when you ask someone, hey, what do you want? You know, what's your purpose? And people don't know. And, you know, I don't know that I'm great at just answering it like an elevator pitch because I'm growing and evolving all the time. Yeah. But I know what I don't want, right? I know I don't want to wander around aimlessly. I know I don't want to be, you know, I want to be intentional about my day, intentional about my decisions. So win the day by noon, I'd like to chunk into this and just talk about how I think you can structure your day. And I want to make an argument for how early you rise and how hard you push yourself. Yeah. I call it a sprint. So I think any of us can do something significant. We can you could do a really hard workout for 12 minutes. You could do a really hard workout for 30 minutes. I mean, it's doable, right? Yep. We could do hard things for short periods of times. So I break my morning into 3 sprints. So the first one is, so I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And what I do is, a lot of people go 4, but I'll tell you honestly, I could tuck myself into 3 because now that I've got the rhythm built, it's no different than waking up at 7. It's my body is calibrated. My mind is calibrated. When I wake up, I'm just as alert as I would be if I was heading to the airport at 2:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? I gotta go. So I'm ready. So what does the morning routine look like? So I think you can, there's a book called The Miracle Morning. I suggest anybody who's listened to it goes and reads it. I wouldn't say, again, I don't think it's literary genius by any means, but it is very much so. It's just simple. It's got a simple acronym that you can just plug into and you can make your own and it works. Yeah. There's lots of cool supporting information. You ever read it, Chris?
Yeah. Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. I interviewed Hal a couple of years ago on a podcast. Yeah. He's a good dude. I like him.
Yeah. He's an easygoing guy and he's been through a lot. And that's what I like about him is that, you know, no matter what his season has been, he's come out of it with this positive mindset. And I think it's the work that he does. Yeah. Does right here.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
In the noggin.
What's the first sprint?
So the first sprint is your personal, it's your miracle morning, if you will. It's your personal time that is used to fill up your own cup. So listen, if you're going to go out into the world and be in a sales industry or a business industry, you're going to be expected to give a lot to the industry. All day long, people are going to be taking from your talent, taking from your intellect, taking from your skills and your hard work. So you need to have a gas tank that's filled up. So this is where we fill it up. So what I do is I try to do it, pretty attentively until about 7:30. So I try to kind of do everything I got to do between 4 o'clock in the morning when I wake up until about 7:50, 7:45, 7:50 when I take my kids to school. And then once I drop them off, I go to my next sprint.
Okay. What's in the first sprint? Like, is it journaling, praying, eating, working out? Like
Everything you just said. Now, the trick is here's a couple bullet points to pull out of your miracle morning. If you're going to do this morning, you got to be very clear that this is taking full. It's all about the compounding efforts. So it's like taking a book that you're going to read in, say, a month and breaking it up into 3 or 4 pages that you're going to read every morning, rather than reading 20 here and then 10 there, and then not reading forever, then reading 10 more, or waiting till the last minute to read it, that kind of thing. It's about being consistent with yourself and building the discipline inside of yourself. I believe that if you were taking notes, I would believe the word discipline should be highlighted and circled 3 times, because personal discipline is literally the differentiator between good and great. It literally is. Like that one should be a quote. Personal, it is the differentiator. So the disciplines you're doing in this miracle morning, these are your own disciplines. If you can't be disciplined to benefit yourself, then how are you going to do it for anybody else?
Right.
And if you are doing it for other people and not yourself, you're literally leaving meat on the bone. Like you're robbing yourself of the best part of life. So here's what I do. And it kind of varies. I mean, by no means am I a robot in the morning. I kind of follow my heart a little bit, but I make sure I get everything done. So I get up, I try to get out of my bed and put a foot on the ground. I've had some people do it by play. So I have notes in my phone. I should actually read it. I'll just read it to you, Chris.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is happening.
Specific right here.
Let's see. Morning routine. So here's what I wrote. It's in my opinion from a great deal of research and experience that a day can be fully maximized with just 2 simple commitments and 1 clear understanding. The key to $1 million network that will earn you $1 million is a 2-part equation: head and heart, and hands and habits, specifically addressing the hands and habits first. So here it is. My morning starts with 90 minutes of highly focused around self-improvement. So I try to spend 90 full minutes around myself. And then I do work for 90 undivided minutes. And then I have a power of 90 undivided minutes. And that is my whole day. That's my whole thing.
Those
and
are
then
your sprints.
So these are my 4 sprints inside of my, until 1 o'clock.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
So I spend 90 minutes doing my morning routine, 90 minutes being keeping my promises, being highly focused on that, 90 minutes creating value and making promises, and then I spend 90 minutes to get a lunch with someone else and building my network. Yeah.
You'll probably have to unpack some of those.
Yeah, I will. Okay. So here's the first one. So my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. I have a foot on the ground at 4:01. Now remember, these little things these are differentiators. Like if you hit your button, you got to take your phone and stick it over somewhere else, right? Because you got to get up. Once you're up and moving, you've hurt discipline number 1. And then I put my headphones in my ears because I like to take in information. I listen into the Optimize Plus One. Have you ever heard of that before? So it's Optimize Plus One. It's like a little vignette of a guy. I can't remember his name, but he's really cool. He goes Optimize Plus One every single time. And he's always wearing the same clothes and the same backdrop, and he's just very methodical. And he just basically does high level reading and interviewing of people, learns, and then he gives you these little snippets. And then down below, you can click on it and you can read a lot more, and you can watch a bigger clip if you want. And he does it every single morning.
Your foot hits the ground. Is your headset by your bedside table? You put your headset on as your feet hit the table. I like that. I think there's some input, like when your brain starts to kick in, you stop thinking about, I feel tired, and your brain starts to engage in what's next.
Yeah, so I try to get it in my head as quick as I can, get out of my bed and get in front of my sink and start brushing my teeth. I drink a glass of water, I brush my teeth, and then I wash my whole face and my neck with cold water, so I can, get that shock. And then now I'm up and I've listened to my thing. I go and I go and I visit the toilet, make sure I'm good in that department. Yeah. And then from there, I'm now up. I consider that up. So then now I want to move from kind of my getting up to taking in information. So now I want to read something. I want to read my Bible. So I normally try to put my Bible in my face right away. Again, I'm very audible. So I'll put on I use the YouVersion app on my Bible on my phone. And then I start, because you can record it and it can play for you. So I'll open up my Bible and I'll push the YouVersion app and I'll take in both. Again, I don't get this right every day, but that's the goal every day.
Yeah.
And then I try to do that for about 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Right now I'm doing a Bible study book on, it's called Lead Like Jesus by Ken Blanchard. So good. I have a men's group that I do every Thursday. So every morning I'm kind of doing that discipline so that I'm ready for that men's group. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So going back and recapping, I get out of my bed with the process of getting out of my bed. That's very important. Get out of your bed. And then you want to wake up. I believe you got to brush your teeth right away. So you might as well wake up and use some cold water and get going. And then I want to start putting some stuff in my mind that makes me start thinking, futuristic and kind of get my mind going. And it's only like a minute and a half or something. So it's really fast. I think it costs like $4 a month or something to be a member. And then I want to get out of my comfort area. I got to leave my bedroom where my wife is, and I got to go down and try to, get my feet moving. And, some people got a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee because it makes me a crackhead, but yeah. So
got it. I like it.
The morning rituals. And then, I want to work out, right? So then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, my wife gets up around, 4:50 and we jump in the car. I already have the car running and kind of got it warmed up for her. And then we jump in the car and we go work out. We do CrossFit Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays for an hour. And then we get back about 6:10. And then her and I will sit in silence in the front room together. Yeah. And we'll read and kind of slow down and maybe chat a little bit and just kind of be together. Most of the time we don't talk really much. We just hang out. She'll usually grab some tea and then she'll make us some oatmeal or something. And then she'll head up to shower and I'll wrap up my thing and then I'll go up right behind her. And the reason we do that is because we got to get our kids up at 7. So it gives us about a 40-minute window to be a husband and a wife and be together. And I think that helps me with some of my 7Fs, right? I want to have my wife our relationship be strong. Yeah. And that hour of no TV, no distractions, no phones, just kind of relaxing. Yeah. It really makes a difference in our marriage.
Wow. That's awesome. Is there anything else? That's your first sprint, right? That's sprint number 1. Is there anything else in sprint number 1?
Yeah. And then then it's time to go. So we get the food ready. I get the kids ready. And then, I only take the kids to school on Tuesdays. My wife does the rest of the week. So then I get out of the door. I leave when they leave and I head out. And then that's when I podcast. So I put a podcast on and I have like 7 or 8 that I listen to. And then that's kind of when I'm praying, getting my head right and getting excited. And then I usually try to have my first meeting start at 8:30. And then that's phase 1. Got it. And I know people who have this down to a science where they're, they got a lemon and they're drinking, warm lemon water. And I mean, they really get after this morning process. I have a friend who gets up every morning and runs 10 miles before 6 o'clock. Wow. These guys just are intense, but every one of them are very, very good and very successful. And I wonder how much of that morning routine kind of sets them up for success. So if you don't have a morning routine, if you're listening to this and you don't have one, don't copy mine, but maybe you could take some out of it. Do you have a morning routine at all, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I've got not to the degree you do. I really like some of the things you said, even like the wash your face, brush your teeth, that stuff. Where even like put something in your ears, like anything.
Wash your face, girl.
yeah, right. But things from journaling. I don't start talking to humans until 10 in my calendar because I want my morning time to get my head right, my spirit right. So I have things. Walk the dog. Yep, all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I love that. I mean, I think my question originally was, what's the hurdle for people to really start winning their day? Because we know we need a time block. And I think some of the things are so simple and subtle, you wouldn't even pay attention. Like you should wash your face and brush your teeth when you wake up. It's like, we don't think about that. I'm exhausted from the amount of coffee I have or what I ate last night. I didn't drink enough water. There's things that we do in our daily rhythm that are not set up for our success.
Right.
And we wake up groggy. We wake up not in the right mind. And then we just kind of live in this place fighting an uphill battle. And I think you're pointing to some things that kind of make that easier. It doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah, I think so. The biggest takeaway from the sprint 1 of the 4-part sprint of winning the day by noon is you need to get up and spend time in your head. So I write a lot during that time. I definitely read a lot. I'm taking notes. I'm highlighting. I'm trying to be proactive. I'm getting my, my brain firing so that I can start getting, what I find is when my brain gets going that early, most people, I'll be talking to them at like 8 or 9 o'clock. I've already got 4 or 5 hours of like momentum in my head. I'm going, and I'm at another level than most people. So by the time the day's ready for me to go be proactive and call on business and start growing something, it's game time. Like I'm ready. I've already got some good food in my body. My body's starting to, hit that rhythm of waking up early. What I noticed, here's a good example. My dog wakes up the same time I do now. You know why? Because he loves me. And if I'm up, he's going to be up. So when I get up, he wakes up and he gets down. I open the door, he goes out and takes his pee. And then I sit on the couch and he's in his bed next to the fireplace in front of me every single day.
Yeah.
It's because now he's on program because his goal is to serve me and to be around me and he loves me. So he follows suit. And he used to wake up when we woke up at 7.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting how when we can recalibrate when things are important to us.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's block number 1.
Okay.
I try to make that at least 90 minutes of focused time. And then I try to end cap it with working out. And thank God our CrossFit gym just did a Tuesday. So now we're going to have 4 days a week instead of 3. So now I feel really good.
Nice.
And then if we miss it, sometimes we miss it. Like we had a snowstorm. Did you get snow, Chris?
We did last night. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, buddy. We got snow last night and the night before.
Yeah.
So I had to go work out last night. It was pretty fun. So I write a lot. I think you should journal as much as you possibly can. And here's how I journal in the morning. Instead of trying to just talk to my journal, I write letters to my kids. So I say, today I was reading the Bible and I learned about this. And I just wanted to kind of talk it out with you. This is what your dad's learning. I think it's really important, son, that every morning you wake up and you put the bread of life into your soul because it's your framework for everything. And here's what I'm learning today. And then I just write that. And I just believe to me, I don't do it all the time. I probably got 3 or 4 journals that are halfway filled out, but it's just, if I were to pass tomorrow, they'd have a bunch of stuff from their dad,
Yeah.
And I think when you're teaching, you're learning more than otherwise. So,
yeah, I think
now
sometimes
phase
people
2.
Yeah.
Phase
yeah.
2.
Let's do phase 2. Good.
So phase 2, I want to be very, very focused on, so it's do work. I call it the do work phase, like this where I get shit done.
Yeah.
So I'm highly focused for 90 minutes, getting things done and keeping my promises. So this is, I buy a lot of companies and do a lot of business stuff. So this is when I'm signing all my contracts. I'm reading through everything line by line. I'm, writing things out. I'm, following, sending things to my attorneys for them to write things. I'm working on the stuff that I need. I have all these other people helping me. I need to do my part so they can do theirs. So I do all my things. I try to vision cast and get everything out and I get it done in that hour, 90 minutes. And here's the number 1 trick to time management, to winning your day by noon, is these moments are precious. No one gets to have them but you. So you have to get them every day. If you get them every day, they compound. You start getting a lot more done than most people. And again, we're only talking right now, we're at 9 o'clock.
Right. Yeah.
And, we're getting a lot done.
Yeah.
So by 9:30, I've like blazed through a lot of things.
Yep.
So I try not to schedule any appointments, any earlier than 8:30, 9 o'clock, because I want to, have my coveted time.
Yep.
But this is when I'm keeping my promises. So let's talk a little bit about that. I think it's a to-do list. And, we got a lot of goal setting stuff that we're going to go over, but so winning your day by noon, you have to have a goal. So what I do is I always have this goal sheet next to me, like a little to-do sheet. And I just write every idea I get, I put on there. I just put them on there.
Yep.
Because my goal is just get out of my head, because my brain is meant for processing, not storage. And if I don't get out of my head, I'll forget. So I like to write it down. And then at the end of the day, I'm going back through and making sure I got everything done.
Got it.
So for 90 minutes, keeping my promises. That's where you check your emails. You get ready, you get prepared. I love that part. And the last one is my power hour. This is when I'm making it rain.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you need other people to buy your product.
Making it rain is a sprint, or it's the last part inside the second sprint?
So this is 4 sprints in your win the day by noon.
Right. And so the last sprint is the making it rain.
No, the last sprint is never eat alone.
Oh, got it. So the third sprint is
third
making
sprint.
it rain.
It's power hour. Yep.
Power hour.
So this is where I try to make 20 outbound phone calls to people who I know, like, and trust, or I want to know, like, and trust. And I'm setting appointments. That's my only goal. Invite them to something, or include them in something, or set an appointment with them. And I'm trying to set myself 20 plus appointments a week. and I'm trying to do it all in this, you know, power hour of 190 undivided minutes.
And it doesn't have to be necessarily to sell something. It's you. This is you building your network, right? Your
It's
$1 million network.
it's all about network. Every single thing I'm saying right now is about getting ready to be the best version of myself to serve my network.
Perfect. Yep. I love it.
Remember, as I serve my network, like me and Chris are starting to learn how to be in a network. We haven't had a chance to do that, but as we get to know each other, my job will be inside of that power hours to call Chris once a week and make sure he's doing okay. It's where I write a handwritten card to Chris. It's where I'm genuinely building my network with Chris. And I think if you think about it, if you did for 90 minutes every day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, I mean, that's a lot of time put into being proactive and building relationships. You know, they say if you go out to the world to make friends, you'll come back with no friends. But if you go out to the world to be a good friend, you'll have lots of friends. So I believe that, you know, in that 90 minutes, this is when you make some friends.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. Okay. All right. So that's the sprint number 3 is the network, make it rain, outbound calls, power hour.
Yeah. Okay. So again, on the morning routine, the first phase is filling up your own bucket. It's being disciplined with your own promises that you make to yourself. That's one. Number 2 is do work. This is where you keep your promises and you're a man of integrity. Your yes is your yes and your no is your no. You do what you say you're going to do. And then the third one is power hour. This is how I proactively arrows out, go out, seek to help as many people as I can by inviting them, including them, and setting appointments with them. Right? And then the last one is I never eat alone. And the idea is you go to lunch with someone that's in your cadre and you seek to understand. So lots of open-ended questions, lots of proactive listening. This is about you getting in front of other people and loving them. And my thing is just do this once a week. That's 5 times a week. You're having your lunch with someone. So now it's about 1 o'clock and you woke up at 4 to 1. In my opinion, you can go home.
Got it. Okay.
Now, I usually go to a lot of appointments now because I set all these appointments I got to go to, right? Or I get to go to.
Right.
But that's how I keep the ball rolling. So this is how I guarantee that I have results every day.
Wow. I like it. Everything up to noon, everything up until you're done with lunch is proactive, intentional action on your part. And then the afternoon 100%. Is taking care of the stuff that you set up and whatever. But yeah, I love that.
So how do you do this? How do you win the day by noon? You know, there's like the doctor that needs to see you. There's the person that wants to pop in your door. There's the phone that's ringing. There's that emergent email that pops up. How do you do that? Well, this is where mastery takes place. You have to covet those little blocks, those 4 pieces of your sprint, those 4 sprints inside of you win the day by noon if you want to be successful. Because here's what I learned. If I do that 90 hours of making calls, 90 minutes of making calls, but I only do for 45 minutes, I robbed myself and others of my discipline.
Yeah. That's good. That takes some getting there. Like if you're listening to this, it takes embracing that when you work on yourself, that's actually a gift for others. Like, right?
Yeah. I would say that's probably, if I were to pick a theme for this is if you don't have a wellspring to draw from, you're not going to be able to go out and do and be the guy you need to be for those that you're serving, those that you're around, your cadre. They could tell if they're getting the half full version of you. And it's interesting. I wake up earlier than most people. I put in more time in myself than most person. I work out. And then when I get to the job, I actually have more energy now than I would have if I didn't do any of those things. So then I hit that do work phase and that power hour of calling. Those 2 things are like my best parts of the day. Just think about it. For 3 hours, I'm crushing it. You know, I'm on it.
Yeah. It makes success feel attainable.
Yeah, just like day by day, right? Chunk by chunk.
I think sometimes we make success this big thing that we're chasing, right? Like goals, 5-year goals, all that we do, a lot of the stuff out here, but our rhythm of our daily life isn't set up to actually accomplish that thing, right? So a lot of people I think are stuck in visioning and vision boarding and brainstorming, whiteboarding, goal setting. I think a lot of people are stuck in that space, but they don't have the discipline or the rhythm of life to actually fulfill on the goals they're setting. Is that fair?
Oh, I mean, I know that's my biggest hurdle is, you know, this rhythm is great when I do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would tell you, I don't think that I've ever nailed the whole rhythm in one day where I was at, you know, level 10, kicking butt, taking names from every season.
Right.
You know, like lately I've been waking up at 4 because now I'm programmed to do it. So I wake up, but then I don't put, you know, 4:01, my foot's not on the ground. So then at 4:20, I'm looking at Facebook on my phone.
Yeah.
Or at 4:30, then before you know it, crap, I got to get up and I got to go start the car before my wife, you know, gets up, and I just wasted that, you know, 45 minutes or so of having my own time. And that 45 minutes is really impactful. And there's these little things that you could do, like YouVersion, for example. It's the Bible app, right? Every time you get on it, it keeps track. And then it'll say, you've been on it for 31 days. Good job. So what you do is so once you have your framework built, and then it becomes internal competition and mastery. And this is where greatness happens. Like I wrote a book before noon every day. Every single day I would go to the same corner bakery, sit in the same booth, and I'd have the same breakfast, and I'd work on my book every day. And I wrote it. I mean, I don't even know if I ever finished an English assignment in high school. So the fact that I wrote a book, I mean, it just shows you that anybody can do anything if they just stick to it every day. But once you get into this rhythm and you understand these 4 parts of your win the day by noon, now your life becomes about how do you get more out of that part? How do I go deeper into myself, and how do I become more steel inside of my moments? And how do I truly surrender myself to growing and being better in those blocks? And then when I go to the physical, now in the gym, I got a heart rate monitor, and I'm starting to track how hard I'm pushing myself. And, you know, so now I'm trying to maximize that space.
Right.
And I'm starting to get strong again, and I'm starting to feel healthy again. And I'm starting to kind of get to my, you know, now my eating is starting to be connected to my workout, because I don't want to waste my workout. So you see that morning thing, it's so powerful that it literally sets the tempo for the rest of your day. You go to lunch with that guy, and you're not going to go eat, you know, nacho fries, because you know, it's hard because you know, you're squandering what you did earlier. You know, and so each one of these 4 phases, it's about getting better in them. So phase 1 is, you know, goal number 1 for anybody listening is like, wake up in the morning and mark out your win the day by noon. Like, what are the things you're going to do? Maybe use my 4 framework pieces, you know, fill up your bucket, you know, work on your head space. And then you go do work, go get stuff done. Right. And then you call and work on your network. And then you go to lunch with someone, and then that's the beginning of the day of going and doing life with others.
Right.
So that's your 4 blocks. How do you get better at each one? Well, my impact tracker, you know, our token coaching product that we sell here is this. It's the daily implementation of that power hour, that 90 undivided minutes of being proactive and calling and doing. That's what our framework is. And I built that by doing it repetitively over time, and then going, okay, I got to take this out. I got to put this in. And then I created a formula that you can use so that when you're during that power hour and that do work phase, you got a 3-hour block to really own that impact tracker and then go make impact. But what we found is if you do that for 3 months, your business will explode. You'll be in better shape than you've ever been in. Your vitality and health, you'll feel like you're capable of handling the work. Right. Because you're, you know, filling up your cup, and all of a sudden everything gets into this parallel, and then something derails and you got to, you know, outperform it through time.
Wow. How do people, is that impact tracker?
Am I kind of blah, 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 or what do you think?
No, is the impact tracker out for people? Do you guys have that available?
Yeah, that can be purchased now. Do
they just go to your website, or how do they get that?
Yeah, go to the cadreconcept.com, and, you know, you can click on the thing, and we got an accountability group that we're doing a beta coaching where we're only letting 5 students in at a time. And we already have our first 2, and we're going to start taking reservations for our 3rd one.
Your first 2 groups of 5.
Yeah, first 2 groups of 5. And so you can just have the impact tracker on its own, or you can have the accountability group where you get both.
Wow. Got it. I like it. Yeah. I like it. Well, I was going to ask, like, I think part of, you know, listening to an episode like this is inspirational because people go, man, I really want to take this on. I've been meaning to take this on for months or years of my life. But past the inspiration is process. Process creates transformation. So I think if this is resonating with you listening to this, like, what there is to do is submit yourself to a process, because that's where change happens. And it sounds like, Shane, that's what you guys are doing with the tracker and the coaching. Like, if people want to plug into your process to actually create this transformation, like, how do they learn more about it? Where do they go?
Go to the Cadre Concept and, you know, go to the website. again, nothing we're doing is like really awesome yet. We're still working on it because this has been what I've been doing. And now I'm trying to take it and break it into small parts and make it so someone else could pick it up and try to use it. So we have our first module built now, and we're gonna be putting some video to it of goal setting and understanding how to kind of get your framework.
Yeah.
Nice. But if you go to our website, every time you go, you'll get more information. It'll get better. Good. Right now, you can tune into these podcasts and get better, but you can go to our website and you get some information. But I think the first step is waking up. Pick what time you're going to wake up for sure, no matter what. Mm-hmm. And then use that first block and just see what that looks like. Yeah.
Really good.
You don't have to spend, you don't have to give me any money to have a discipline about when you wake up.
Yeah, that's so good. I got great stuff today. This was good for me. Thank you. Thanks Shane. Good episode. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.